Ni hao. Hello, my name is Malaika and I come from Australia, and actually I was born in Canada, and I've traveled all over the world. I've lived with many different cultures and many different people, and I've developed many different ways of facilitation and traveling the world at the moment, offering these gifts to people. So the main offering that I give is in 5 elements dance activation, and 5 elements dance is based on the elements of earth, water, fire, air, and spirit. So both the ancient Ayurvedic healing and also ancient Chinese are all based on the 5 elements of earth, water, fire, air, and spirit. So when we embody these and get more in touch with these elements, it helps us to bring balance back into our mind, body, and spirit. So I'm also using a lot of processes where we address our core issues, our core healing. So a lot of that has to do with the parents, with the family. This is where we receive all our conditioning, all our beliefs, and by using this map of the elements, we pull out the things that have created imbalances in our life and find ways to bring them into harmony by taking responsibility for what's happened in the past, by taking responsibility for our emotions, by giving permission to express our emotions, allow that fire to come up and transform those emotions into something that can be more positive, more creative. So putting that energy rather than into feeling sorry for yourself, which is being the victim, putting that energy into being the self-empowered creator of your own life. So the work is very transformative. It's very powerful and very deep on many different levels. What people have said is it's really given them a new leash on life, unleashed their creativity and given them inspiration to move forward in their life in different ways that they previously maybe were disconnected from. So I've been teaching my work, my body of work, all over the world, and it's very interesting because it helps to get a really great understanding of all the different conditioning that happens culturally. So in teaching here in China, in comparison, say, to Australia, actually I find the participants are really, they seem to very easily express their emotions. There's also seems to be a lot of deep healing that needs to happen around the family. So I do a lot of work around that to help people to release any story or any grief that they might be carrying about the family or about the past, so that they come into more of a place of radical forgiveness and loving acceptance. I find that the participants are really, like here in China, the people are really, it's almost like they have a childlike wonder, which is refreshing from like Western countries, that they're very expressive, especially with the dance. They really get into it and have a lot of fun, and they're not so worried about what anybody thinks or, you know, self-conscious in that way. They'll just kind of like dance and let go and scream and make a lot of noise and have a lot of fun, which seems different than, like, say if I was in the city here in China, you know, the average Chinese people, but it seems to be the people who come to the groups are really willing to open up and express themselves, which is quite refreshing, and receive a lot of love and appreciation, which is also really beautiful. I think this center is perfect for my type of work, because I like to get people out into the elements, and you know, especially a lot of people, they're coming from jobs, living in the city, or you know, behind a computer a lot of hours and sitting for a lot of hours. So to really get into the body and having the pavilion that's outdoors with the breeze and, you know, just to be in the elements, it really helps people to calm the mind and come back to center. And I think like having just all the sounds of nature around, the sounds of the birds, is very calming to the spirit, and there's so much green around, so it's really nice for people just to be in this nature environment, and I really, in the last couple of groups, have really used that. Like we've come out and come out at sunset. We went to the beach, you know, on our water day and connected with the ocean and did some exercises with connecting with water dance, which is a form of healing from the West, where people are actually held in the ocean, and it helps to relieve any birth trauma or any traumas that the body is holding on to, and just to surrender to being held by someone. We had a very calm, flat day in the ocean, and so it's perfect to have earth. You know, we have the rocks here, which we spent one day up in the rocks. We spent the day down at the pavilion doing yoga, and we also went to the beach. And I'd like to have a fire here next group, you know, an outdoor fire as well, so people can have that experience of dancing outside around a fire. So I think it's a perfect venue for it. The really nice hall, a nice big space, and the staff is all super friendly. And so with the different types of groups that I am offering, each one is slightly different because I'm really working with intention. So I set an intention at the beginning of the group, like this next group is called The Ultimate Journey, and what's the Chinese name? It's called Tan Dao, I think, which is the meaning behind it is beyond duality, going beyond duality. So I will tune into the processes that we will do this week will be different than what we did last week, which was called the Journey to the Heart. So the Journey to the Heart, we had to look at all the issues of the things that are blocking us from having an open heart, from expressing ourselves with our open heart. And so we did a lot of connection, a lot of exercises connecting with one another, and a lot of exercises with connecting with our bodies. And you know, this next retreat, we're going to be really focusing on our higher self and connecting in through meditation, through the dance, through the yoga, through the practices, to what does it actually mean, this concept of moving beyond duality, coming into more of a oneness consciousness. So, and the first one was the Elemental Embodiment Retreat. So that one was each day we focused on a different element, and the different element has a different way it affects us in our bodies. So we had different practices that we did for each day. For example, Earth Day is very much about connecting with your ancestors, connecting with your roots, connecting with the physicality of your body. Water Day was very much about connecting with our emotions, with cleansing and purifying the body. Fire Day was about that transformation. What is it that we're ready to let go of and throw in the fire so that we can make space for something new in our lives? And air is the element that rules the heart. So it was, you know, what makes your heart sing? What is those? What is that dream life for you look like? And what would it look like if you, using the word of like releasing the bird from the cage, you know, and that only we have the key to open the heart and let set those wings free to give ourselves permission to be our authentic self. So really, all of the work takes people to the same place, but they're just slightly different in their teachings. Hi, I'm Malaika, and I'm going to be offering a African dance and drumming workshop here next year. And when we think of African dance, we think of this wild, tribal, exciting, a lot of energy. We're going to be moving the body. We have live drums, so it's going to be very percussive, and the drums themselves just awaken the root chakra. So African dance is really all about the earth element. So it's really connecting with your roots, connecting with your body. And there is choreography that we'll be learning. So it is not just like free dance. We're actually learning structured dances that we'll do each day and come up with a performance by the end of it to offer to our family and friends if they want to come and see. And there'll be dancing in the morning, and then we'll have drumming, and then we'll have dancing in the afternoon, and then drumming again. So it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of energy, and yeah, I hope you can come and join us.